Hello everybody. So today I'm going to go through the business cycle. The business cycle. So the business cycle has basically 4 phases through it. Right? 4 phases through the cycle. So you have, first of all, it's not necessarily in this order, but it's in the order that I'm drawing it. So first of all you have the expansion phase, and then you have the peak, which is right up the top here, the peak, and then you would have the phase going down here, and that's the contraction. Actually, I'll try and make that another colour. You have the contraction, and then finally at the very bottom you have what is known as the trough. So this is the cycle. Now the cycle has a heavy reliance on the aggregate demand equation. Right, a heavy reliance on aggregate demand. So we know that aggregate demand is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Right, we know that it has that at this point in time. And so during the expansion phase, this aggregate demand is increasing, whereas during the contraction phase, aggregate demand is decreasing. Now, this is really exciting, and it's exciting from this perspective that governments can control where we are on this business cycle, even though we are an economy that does not have government, well, it has small government ownership, but governments can certainly influence, probably is the better word, rather than control. Influence, because 80% of our economy is driven by private enterprise. So what governments can do is they can influence this curve through 2 policies, which we will learn about in Unit 4, and that they are monetary and budgetary policy. Right. Essentially, monetary has got to do with interest rates, and budgetary policy has to do with government taxation and government spending. Tax and spending. So, take us to very early 2020, even though the exam has been written, right? The exam has been written. So what's been happening with COVID-19 is unlikely to be specifically examined. However, you can certainly, from a theoretical point of view, write about it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this. So currently there is a real issue with consumer consumption, right? So C is going down, right? And we know that C is 60% of AD, right? So when C's going down, AD, given that it's such a larger percentage, will also go down. Now, there is talk, as I have mentioned to some of you, that this is going to go below that figure there, right? It's going to go below there. So therefore, we're going to get a situation where potentially we are in a recession. In fact, if you hear the doomsdayers, that's what they're saying. So as it goes down, what the government to avoid this, to try, and again this word of influence rather than control, what they're trying to do is stimulate stimulate aggregate demand. And there are a number of measures, and I'm using that word very carefully, there are a number of measures that they have instigated, that they have introduced. One, of course, is the job seeker or job keeper. Okay. Job seeker or job keeper. What they've done is they've given an amount of money to workers who have lost their job. Now, as you are aware, now what income does is this. Now we have, and there's a reason why I taught it to you, and it's the economic activity cycle. So when income increases, right, and I'm talking about the $1,500 job keeper, seeker, that's going to lead to expenditure, yeah, and with expenditure it's going to lead to production, and production leads to employment, and so on. Okay, so by doing that, by giving them the money, what the government is hoping to do, what they're hoping to do is to avoid this, right? And to try and, now flattening the curve is all the rage at the moment. They're trying to flatten this trough. In fact, I like that word. I'm going to borrow it. Flatten the trough. Okay? So I hope that this very short video gives you a picture of the business cycle and currently one of the aspects the government's trying to do. Thank you.